Hey guys, David here. Played episode 1 of season 2 of The Walking Dead game? Good. Let's talk spoilers. Consider that your warning. So if you have not played the episode, turn off the video, go buy it, download it, play it, and then come back and watch the rest of this video. You're gone? Okay, good. Okay, so number 1, Telltale. What the hell? 20 minutes into the episode and you're gonna go ahead and just kick us in the nuts? Omid was one of our favorite characters of season 1, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt just a little iffy seeing him die within the first 20 minutes. It brought me back to X-Men The Last Stand when Cyclops dies within like half an hour of that movie. But I decided to think of it as the game's way of saying, hey, we mean business. And this is not going to be light in tone whatsoever. And what makes it even more effective is that right after we jump 16 months ahead and we have two questions. How has this affected Clementine? Because obviously Clementine is no longer the same person. She's no longer this innocent little girl. And two, apparently the world of The Walking Dead hates babies because so far we have no idea what happened to Krista's baby. Maybe she lost it, maybe she left it with some people on the road, who knows. You know what else we don't know? What happened to Krista? Much like with Kenny in episode 5, we get rid of Krista. We don't know if she's dead or not. She might come back, much like Kenny's fate will then be explored later on in season 2, but for the time being, we have no idea what happened with Krista. And now we're going to go ahead and focus on some new characters that Clementine is going to interact with. And like I said before, most of them are likable. Most of them become likable a little over time during the time that we got to spend with them. And some are douchey, like that lady who's also pregnant. But they have a reason to be douchey. Her and Nick, they have that aggressive attitude. But you can kind of tell where they're coming from, and that makes them a little bit more relatable rather than people that you just want to see die because they're assholes. But these characters are much more likable if they build some sort of relationship with Clementine. And the only way that they can do that is through trust. And they have to trust her when she says that she was bitten by a dog and not a walker. Which brings me to what, in my opinion, was the most emotional scene out of the entire episode. I dare say even more emotional than Omid's death. That dog. As soon as that dog popped up, I'm like, Telltale, you played the dog card. You brought the fucking dog. Needless to say, I knew the dog was gonna die, but how it died, I was not expecting. I was not expecting that dog to all of a sudden become aggressive and attack me, forcing me, Clementine, to push the dog into some broken tent poles that ultimately punctured the dog and then made me have to kill the dog. I checked the statistics. Most people who played the game so far went ahead and mercifully killed the dog, and it's just one of the toughest things I've done in this series so far. I mean, I had the knot in my throat. This was starting to squeeze a little bit. I'm a dog lover, so obviously I was fighting fighting those tears back. But what made it even sadder is because it makes sense. It makes sense for that dog to have gotten aggressive because it has been domesticated this whole time, but because of the zombie outbreak, that domestication was stripped away from him, much like the innocence was stripped away from Clementine. And that dog needed to survive. So when somebody offers them food but then starts to limit that food from them, they're going to become aggressive. Their animal instincts are going to turn on and attack. So it made sense that that dog got violent, and it just made me as the player wish, why did you do that? You could have been awesome and you forced me to kill you. Why did you have to do that? But anyways, that leads to Clementine getting bit, therefore having to form some form of trust with these people that she groups up with, because she needs to make them believe that she got bitten by a dog and not a walker, which I thought was very interesting. I love how that dynamic worked, and it had that form of trust be built with these characters. That way we can then like these characters and care what happens to them should anything happen to them in the future episodes. And it also led to the most cringe-inducing scene since the finale, when whether or not you decided to take Lee's arm off. The sewing scene. I never thought that somebody taking a needle and just squeezing it through their flesh as they're sewing their gaping wound closed is worse than somebody cutting their arm off with a saw. It was worse to me. It was sent shivers down my spine. But noticing that not only was Clementine telling the truth about her bite, but she can also fend herself against walkers, they decided to take her in, and she decides to go on a run with Pete and Nick, who are, I believe, are uncle and nephew. And Pete gets bitten, and Nick runs off. At least that's what I decided to go. I decided to go with Pete and help him out because he was bitten and because he didn't have any ammo, whereas Nick had plenty of ammo. He wasn't bitten. He was able to fend for himself. So I decided to go with Pete. Now, I will say that that ending was a little anticlimactic. I didn't feel like there was a proper sense of resolution like episode 1 did when they finally arrived at the motel and they'd established that, hey, we're going to be here for a while. And it did leave us with a nice little stinger of having the electricity shut down. The ending for this episode didn't really have that because it just cut off. You know, it just had Clementine and whoever you chose to go with run off. And then boom, it just cuts. And then it said right there, next time on The Walking Dead. And I thought that was just a little anticlimactic. But so far, I'm liking what I see in this episode. What's going to happen with Pete? Who's that person that Clementine thought was dead? Could it be Krista? Could it be Nick? Who knows? Maybe it's the guy that I refused water to, which was the second to last decision that I was talking about. Anyways, episode 1 is so far awesome and I cannot wait for the next episode. If you guys have played episode 1 of season 2 of The Walking Dead game, please let me know what you thought. But thank you guys for watching, and until next time guys, take care.